Hi everyone, my name is Erin Palola, and today I'm going to be giving a brief overview on my proposal for a media intervention campaign. I've chosen to discuss LGBTQ+ hate and discrimination on social media, specifically towards transgender and non-binary people. According to a 2023 report from GLAAD, 54% of LGBTQ+ respondents had experienced swatting, stalking, or physical threats. The same report found that Twitter offered the least protections and even removed policies against misgendering on the platform. According to a Pew Research Center study from 2022, 60% of U.S. respondents still define gender by the sex people are assigned at birth, while in 2018, the American Journal of Public Health released a report that found transgender individuals were victims of hate crime 4 times as often as cisgender people. These statistics barely scratch the surface in explaining the public health issue LGBTQ+ harassment has become, but provide a solid basis for intervention. My main idea is producing a short documentary focusing on the stories and lives of people who have experienced hate and are willing to talk about it. It would be around 20 minutes long, which would give people time to tell their stories in depth but still be short enough to watch in one sitting. A video of this length could be produced quickly, which would help keep campaign costs relatively low. Target market for this intervention is people who are on the fence about supporting LGBTQ+ rights, especially in relation to transgender issues. This group presents the most opportunity to make a positive change in their attitudes. Geographic data showed that some states have demonstrated fewer social equities for LGBTQ+ people through legal means. The Movement Advancement Project, a group that advocates for policy change encouraging equality, found states such as Alabama, Louisiana, and Tennessee had poor policies regarding LGBTQ+ rights. Targeting ages 18 to 35 had multiple reasons behind it, one being that this is the most active age group on Twitter according to 2023 data from Statista, another being that older groups seem to oppose LGBTQ+ rights more than younger ones. An additional study from Statista done in 2023 showed that only about 60% of people over the age of 50 believe same-sex marriage should be legal. Reaching specific parts of the country and states where the message is more likely to be considered or accepted is vital to the safety of people participating in the project as well as the transgender community at large. Same-sex marriage is just one metric that could be used to estimate the attitudes towards LGBTQ+ groups, but is not fully comprehensive of all attitudes. Using Alabama as an example, according to a Pew Research study from 2014, 33% strongly favored same-sex marriage, 57% opposed or strongly opposed it, and 10% didn't know. People who don't know would be most likely to change their mind, and people who only slightly but don't strongly oppose could be persuaded. Specific counties in Alabama that refused to issue marriage licenses even after the 2015 Supreme Court ruling, like Washington, Clark, Geneva, or Covington, may be more likely to have strongly negative views towards LGBTQ+ people. Avoiding areas like this would be helpful in avoiding safety issues and the boomerang effect. Primary message this campaign hopes to send is that transgender people are hugely targeted by harassment and hate crimes, which is a societal issue that needs to be recognized and remedied. Other themes include media erasure and stereotyping. Years of harmful media portrayals, and more importantly, a lack of positive ones, have contributed to some people's lack of respect for LGBTQ+ groups. The media has a responsibility to give these individuals a platform not only to normalize the reality for people who are not in direct contact with anyone transgender, but also to give support in the form of making it known respecting transgender rights is a societal standard, and to violate those rights would be outside of the realm of acceptability. According to a 2021 study from the Pew Research Center, 84% of people through the ages of 18 and 29 use some form of social media. With this data in mind, the best channel to promote through is YouTube. It would fit into the social media advertising campaign well because the video could be easily linked or shared for free without subscription. Additional advertisements would be run by social media influencers paid to post about the documentary, such as Jazz Jennings, Chella Man, and Hari Nef. Influencer advertising could capture millions of people through their viewership. As a final step to this campaign, sponsored ads on Twitter and YouTube would be created. They could be used on Instagram, Snapchat, and Facebook as well, but at a lower rate since these are highly used platforms but not the primary focus. Twitter is especially important to advertise through because this is where a lot of the hate is happening. A 2018 study in the research journal Sex Roles found that participants who had watched television with transgender characters were more likely to have more positive views of transgender people and related policies. Under the same principle, since there are many people who are not used to seeing transgender issues discussed in mainstream media, they could over time become more understanding to the issues the documentary would discuss, as well as start to have more favorable views of transgender people. Another study published in 2016 in the International Journal of Communication found those who identified as LGBTQ+ were more likely to have hopeful responses to seeing representation in media, while heterosexual and cisgender youth were more likely to have responses of disgust. Social environments, personal factors, and past experiences are key in understanding people's motivations for sending hateful messages. Watching LGBTQ+ rights be reinforced in mainstream media might help to deconstruct negative past modeling observed by the target audience and change their outcome expectancies with relation to how transgender people should be treated. Here are my sources for the presentation, and thank you for watching.